you guys have enough.
All right.
TV, everybody good? All right, we have Olympian swimmer Claire Donahue and WKU head swimming coach Bruce Marchionda, and we will start with your questions. Go ahead.
Claire, what have the last few hours or days been like for you?
A few days. I've actually been kind of cool because I just got back into Bowling Green yesterday, and I felt like things had kind of calmed down when I was in Omaha, and then when I was driving back from Nashville from the airport, I was starting to get pretty excited. I don't know, Bowling Green is home to me, so it was kind of cool to be able to come home, and then, you know, I leave on Friday, so things are starting to get pretty exciting again.
Have you come down at all from that emotional high from last week?
There's, you know, ups and downs. I mean, obviously the downs are still pretty high, but I mean, the day after, I guess the full 24 hours was like huge, like a major high, and then it came down a little bit, and then it's had a lot of ups, more ups than I'm used to. So it's been pretty exciting.
When has it, or when will it hit you that this is real and this is really happening?
It keeps on hitting me over and over again. Obviously, like when it happened, it like hit me really, really hard, and so I was just like, there were like a million different emotions kind of going through me when I looked up at the clock and saw that number 2 next to my name. That was like the highest, and then it keeps on hitting me. People will say stuff about going to the Olympics, or just comment about something small, and I'll get like really excited again, or think like, oh my gosh, like I get to go.
Is there one thing, one moment, one that stands out as far as what you're really looking forward to most of all? Walking into the Olympic Stadium for the opening ceremonies?
I actually don't get to go to the opening ceremonies because my race is the next day, but I don't know if there's one particular thing that's like that I'm really excited about. I think it's just the whole going is like it's the big thing. Like being able to race at the Olympic Games, like the biggest meet of my life, and the most exciting, and not just that, but being able to get to go and experience all that with to represent USA, to represent WKU, to just go and have fun with it.
Coach, explain the last week or so from your perspective. You know, what's it's been like for you, and I guess you've been I guess pretty popular as well. I would believe.
Well, ever since she touched the wall, I think things have just been crazy. I talked to a couple of the other Olympic coaches, and I said, but everything we prepared for, I did not prepare for all the distractions that would take place from the time her hand hit the wall until now. And it's been great. The first 15 minutes after she hit the wall and we realized that she was going to the Olympics was just crazy. At the time, Danielle Gromeyer, one of our assistants, she was up in the stands. Brian Thomas was right with me, and we're just running around trying to find her parents, trying to find anybody that we can hug, and so it was pretty exciting. We didn't see Claire until probably about 10 minutes after her race, and then finally got a chance to sit down and talk. And the kind of the neat thing is that probably within the first 24 hours, all of our goals changed. Because obviously our goal was to make the Olympic team. That was it, and we had certain time standards and times. And then about 24 hours, we let her celebrate, and we said, okay, now we got to refocus. We're going to turn our goals around. Now what do we need to do is get on the medal stand at the Olympic Games, and it's fun. And I never expected this much support from the WKU nation, so to speak, and the community. It's just been overwhelming.
Has it been overwhelming for you too at times?
Oh yeah, I mean, good overwhelming. Like the first 24 hours, I think, were huge. The response of just people at the meet, and I think the excitement just for myself was really just huge. And then when the response from, I'm from Knoxville, so Knoxville, like just the support and everybody congratulating me, my family, people here in Bowling Green, it was just everything. Yeah, it was like huge. Everyone, how much support there really was, I had no idea, and so it was really cool to be able to see that amount.
What do you hope to accomplish when you get to London? Well, what is the goal?
Well, right now, the time that I just got puts me at 6th in the world, and the difference between the 3rd fastest time and the 6th fastest time is 0.4 of a second. So right now, my goal is to stand on the podium. I think that's one of the biggest goals, and to get a better time.
Do you feel like that's realistic? Do you feel like you have a realistic mental
Yeah,
time?
definitely. I mean, we still have about 3 more weeks of training left. I still have some things that I can fix and focus on and tweak a little bit to kind of help me get to my goals.
Do you feel, Coach, like she has a real shot at being
I
a
do.
medalist?
Yeah, the time difference between 3rd in the world and her time, which is right now 6th, I think the 5th place is 2/100ths of a second ahead of her, and in actuality, it's closer to 0.3 of a second out of 3rd place. And we reviewed the videotape of her race over and over and over again, and you're always looking for that perfect race. And her race on Tuesday night was very, very good, but wasn't perfect. She was a little short going into that last wall, as she knows, and her turn wasn't as fast as it was in the preliminary rounds. So we really feel like if, which is obviously is a big word, if we could put all that together and have that magical race, then she's got a legitimate shot of standing on the podium in London, which would be on the world stage. I mean, that would be unbelievable.
Claire, you mentioned you have about 3 weeks. Could you kind of map out what your routine's going to be for the next few weeks, and what all goes into trying to improve your time, and what goes into all that, I guess?
Yeah, well, on Friday I'll head to Knoxville to train, and the entire U.S. team will be there, swim team. And so we'll go there, and then we'll stay there for a week, then go to France for a week, and then to London for a week, and then I race. And kind of what those 3 weeks look like are next week is going to be, getting back up there and, really getting back into training. So it's going to be hard, and then we kind of come down and what we call a taper. So it's like a rest. So when I race, I am rested. So the next week and a half, possibly 2 weeks, will be pretty tough, and then kind of coming down from that.
And it's interesting because we have a little bit of experience in this with a very quick turnaround, a 4-week turnaround. It's actually the same amount of time between the conference championships, Sunbelt Conference Championships, and the NCAA, so national championships. It's exactly the same. So the last couple of years, especially Claire's junior and senior year, we had a plan in place, and she was able to go a little bit faster at the national championships 4 weeks later. So we're hoping that we learn from that. And, we got a great support system in staff. I mean, I mentioned Danielle and Brian, the 2 assistants, but also John Stefanski's doing a phenomenal job with Claire in the weight room, and Betsy Schoenfeld, who sports psychologist. She was very, very valuable being out there with Claire. And so we have all that support in place again. And so we're going to give it a shot, see what happens.
Coach, Western's always had a good swimming program. I'm not sure it was known really on a national scale really until now. I'd wonder, and maybe this is something you can't answer right now, but the impact that Claire and this Olympic run could have on the program.
Oh, just as recruiting, it's already had an impact. Recruiting started July 1st, and I know Brian has made a couple of calls. We were talking the other day about normally maybe 2 out of 10 people that we call know about Western Kentucky. And so we have to introduce them to them, and our job was to try to get them as much information, to try to get them here for a visit. And now it's you pick up the phone and it's like, oh yeah, Western Kentucky, Claire Donahue. So, I mean, our name is out there, at the high circles, and that's going to just pay big dividends, and we're going to milk it for all it's worth here in the recruiting trails, believe me, over the next couple months.
Claire, for you to have that kind of impact on the program, kind of leaving now, what does that mean to you?
It's kind of exciting. It's very exciting to think that how far I've come, because 5 years ago, coming in as a freshman, I never would have thought that I would have had this much of an impact on not just the team, but the program in Western Kentucky as a whole. And I mean, I love it here. And so for me to be able to improve the program and kind of bring up Western Kentucky's name, is huge for me, and it's very exciting to be able to do that, and it gives me a very big sense of pride.
You mentioned how much you've got on your plate for the next 3 weeks or so. Will you get a chance to enjoy it? Will you get a chance to enjoy the Olympic Games and enjoy London and enjoy sort of the experience when you're done?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot going on, but I think all that is going on is the experience, being able to, I'll be training a lot, but being able to train with the best in the world is going to be really fun, and I've already started to get to know a lot of the people on the team, and it's really kind of exciting, and I'm going to enjoy it a lot. I think it's going to go by so fast that it's going to be hard to sometimes, but overall it's going to be a lot of fun.
Who have you gotten a chance to sort of pal around with at this point, or exchange texts with, or anybody like that?
Well, there's actually been quite a few, a very big handful of them. I went to Pan American Games with 8 months ago, so I know a lot of them there. I haven't gotten a chance to, meet Michael Phelps or Ryan Lochte, the big names, but I do know like Dana Vollmer, the girl I raced with, and people I race with, I know, from swimming, and it's a great group, and I'm really excited to get to know everyone a lot more.
Claire,
When she goes out to the Olympic training camp, her group will include Missy Franklin, who you may have heard, who will represent us in 7 events at the Olympic Games. So she'll be in Claire's training group. So that'll give her a good chance to get to know Missy pretty well, I think.
by reaching the Olympics, you kind of reach a new, level, of whether it be, a role model, potentially, inspiration for young people who want to try to swim, especially from the area or from your hometown. Have you thought of yourself in that kind of light? And have you allowed that to enter your mind at all as like being the role model or anything like that?
Yeah, I've kind of thought about it because it was really cool. The night after I got second after my race, I came out to talk to my parents and give them hugs. I hadn't seen them yet, and there were a bunch of kids standing right outside the pool, wanting autographs and things like that. And I think even then is when it hit me that these kids might I might be their role model, and some kids have even said come up to me after I raced and said that. So I don't think it's really hit me how much maybe that I might be their role model or they might look up to me, but it feels kind of weird that they would do that, but just because it's all very new to me, but it's pretty exciting.
How many people do you plan on having in your sort of entourage over in London?
I don't know. People have been so supportive. People I don't even know. And, I have, family, or, I grew up in Illinois City, Tennessee, near Knoxville, and I've been here. And so that's a huge group I've realized. And Western Kentucky has a huge entourage of people. And then even people I don't even know from that maybe know my family or have a friend that's related to me or something along those lines are supporting me. So it's really cool. I think there's going to be a lot.
How many actual people do you know of at this point that will be in London watching you swim?
Well, my parents are going to be able to go, and then my sister is trying to go. They're trying to get tickets to watch me, and then my brother-in-law. So, my whole entire family would love to go, but going to London is kind of a bit of a challenge. So right now that I know of are my parents that will be able to go.
Other questions? All right, thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Claire will leave on Friday, so this is probably just about it. She's going to have a send-off tomorrow at Indian Hill